What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be different. I'm going to be talking about why you should not be focused on manifesting. Instead, you should be focused on meeting all of your basic needs. You should be focused on trying to realize your highest potential. Let's get into the video. So I'm going to present to you this chart right here, and it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is super important because if your basic needs are not met, whether it's you don't know where you're gonna live, you don't know when's the next time you're gonna eat, you don't have a job, you don't have any love in your life, you don't have these core things, you're always gonna feel frustrated. You're gonna feel stress, anxiety, depression, aka you're gonna be in a lower frequency, right? And manifestation at its core is to be able to live with something or without something. I'm going to bring up the emotional vibration chart so that way you guys can see the correlation on what I'm trying to present to you and how to manifest. So the emotional vibration chart, again, I bring this up in every video, is super important because this is letting you know the power of your emotions. And if your basic needs are not met, if you don't know where you're going to live, if you don't have enough money for food, for transportation, for your own personal self-care, your emotions that you're gonna walk with and embody, again, emotions are energy in motion, is going to have you in a lower frequency. This lower frequency is gonna be related to your own ego. Your own ego. You're gonna be living in a state of survival. So until you're able to get out of this survival reality, this frequency, you're never gonna be able to view a different reality. You're never going to be able to attract something greater. So what's the process like of self-actualization? Well, look at it as a stepping stone. Look at it as a staircase, right? Once you can take care of your basic needs, where you're going to live at, the food that you're going to eat, then you can focus on the type of job that you have. And once you get secure in a job, that's going to make you feel more secure in yourself. Once you're able to feel more secure in yourself, then you can focus on your relationships. Are you spending time with yourself? Are you happy with the people you have in your life? And as you see, the more you go from working on your basic needs, the more you kind of step into this higher, greater awareness of self and who you actually are and how you feel. In the bottom, you don't really care how you feel. You don't really care how you feel. You're like, I have to work, I have to survive. You're just living in survival. Once you're able to get out of survival, you're able to have a wider perspective on life, which means you're able to think clearer. You're able to think deeper, right? Most people are kind of stuck in this rat race, is what we call, because they're living check to check, and they're never able to actually think in the future. They're always thinking day by day. So if you're always thinking day by day, you're in a sense like you're never going to care what your purpose is. You're never going to care what your purpose is. The only time you really start to wonder what your purpose is through age, through time. A lot of times pass, maybe you're in your 30s, 40s, or when now you have a lot of time in your hands because you've met your basic needs. You've met your needs. You're no longer surviving anymore. You're no longer hungry for your next meal. You have relationships in your life. Now that you created all this time, you're able to reflect, introspect, think. That's when you begin to move up this chart. And as you move up this chart of fulfilling all of your personal needs, again, I'm showing you guys the emotional vibration chart. The emotion that you're going to embody is going to be in between like acceptance of your life to like courage and willingness to try something new, right? I see this a lot with the clients I work with. Once I'm able to help them gain a higher awareness of their life, what brings them down towards guilt and shame, and we remove it and we work past it. Once we're able to let it go, emotionally, I help them, I help them raise their frequency from shame and guilt to this place of acceptance. They accept their life. And the majority of times, because all of their needs are met, they start thinking of their life long term. If I keep doing what I'm doing, what impact am I gonna have? What legacy am I gonna have? But it's hard for you to think deeper about life when you're caught up, at the bottom, just surviving. And how is this gonna help you manifest? How is this gonna help you create the life of your dreams? Well, it's hard for you to actually think about something greater than yourself when you can only think of yourself, when you can only think of your needs. Does that make sense? So the process of self-actualization is actually a roadmap. It's a roadmap for you to be able to manifest. Because when you're living check to check, the main emotions you're gonna probably feel is like lack, frustration, anger, sadness. But as you begin to take more care of yourself, you start, spending time with people you love, you care about, you start flowing a little bit more with life. And because you're flowing more with life, you start being able to imagine more. As you step in, as you raise your frequency, you start stepping out of your body senses and you begin imagining more. You start thinking creatively. You start thinking about things you never thought about. AKA, you start experiencing, higher levels of awareness, consciousness, of spirituality. This is how my life changed. I tell the story of, how I moved to Los Angeles. I was homeless. I slept in a car. Looking at this chart right here, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, my perspective was skewed because your life can change just by how you look at your reality. So even though I was in this car, my reality was like, I'm broke, I'm stuck, why me? I had this victim mindset. But my reality started changing when my awareness began to change, when I started seeing people who didn't have a car, who didn't have a job. At least I had a job. At least I was making money. At least I was driving. Back home, my family was cold. It was winter back home. I'm in California living in front of a beach. That's not that bad. And I started looking at my reality where some of my needs are met. Like I'm living in a car. I have food, I have clothes. I can call my friends, my phone is on. So going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because I changed my perspective, some of my needs were met. And because some of my needs were met, I started looking at reality from a different lens. My frequency started to change. And because my awareness was in alignment with my desired reality, and my energy, emotion, was in alignment with something higher, I was starting to live in a higher frequency. Because I lived in a higher frequency, I was able to attract a different reality. So if you really want to manifest, stop trying to do all of these tricks, all of these hacks, all of this nonsense. What you need to do is you need to focus on these steps right here, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Because the more you're able to get comfortable in your life, the more you're able to live in a state of awareness where it's like, whatever it is that you desire, you don't really need it. And when you don't really need something is when it finds you, is when it chases you. I like saying, what you chase runs. Because when you're chasing something, in the same sense, you're saying you don't have it. But true manifestation is in a sense is when you feel like you have it. You feel equivalent. Like anytime I've ever manifested anything is because I felt like it didn't even matter if it manifested or not. Because I felt like I already had something equivalent of it. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to manifest things, but it's like, it's hard when you're at the bottom, when your basic needs aren't met. It's hard for you to manifest a car when you don't even have a stable job. You get me? So I hope this helps. I hope this, provided some clarity for you guys in your manifestation journey and in your journey to becoming your best self. I am a coach. If you do want my help, click the link in my bio or even reach out to me on Instagram. I don't ever really share it, but I love to help you guys out. Thanks for watching, and comment what resonated with you the most. Thank you guys.